Personal Support 1. Support for making choices and plans. Peter is greeted by the centre manager on arrival. The manager shows Peter the choices that he has on offer in the centre. Peter is choosing the activities he would like to try. Peter is going to choose his key worker. Peter has chosen his key worker to support him with his plan. Peter is trying office work. He doesn't like art, but he loves music. Peter would also like a relationship. Peter would like to try activities in his community, such as going to the cinema. Peter is now showing the manager the choices that he's decided to do. Peter has chosen music, a job and work, to go to activities in his local community. He also shows that no, art is not for him. He is also deciding other things which may be outside of service hours. He has also chosen that he would like to have a relationship. The centre manager shows Peter the choices that he has made. Agreeing the plan, Peter now leaves a very happy man. Personal Support 2. Support for making transitions and progression. Here we see Peter considering moving from the service to mainstream activities. His decision ultimately is with mainstream activities with his friends. Peter now leaves the campus, looks back and waves to his key worker and his centre manager. Here we see pictures of Peter trying mainstream activities he has chosen. Personal Support 3. Support for inclusion in one's local community. Peter has decided, as part of his personal support plan, to join a local theatre group. Since he has joined the group, he has made new friends in the community and developed close relationships. Here we see Peter taking part in a small one-act play. This has helped Peter build his confidence and develop his own personal social skills. Being involved in the theatre has enabled Peter to take part in other activities in the community. Personal Support 4. Support for accessing education and formal learning. Peter tries out a rehabilitative training class, but it's not for him. Peter enters the Maynooth NUI campus. Here we see Peter taking a mainstream class, and he's very happy with the course. Personal Support 5. Support for maximizing independence. Here we see Peter showing us his apartment. Peter has chosen to share his apartment with his friend John, who greets him after work. Here we see Peter receiving support to go to the bank to manage his own money. Peter meets with his key worker and his two sisters to tell them he wants to go on holidays with his new friends. Here they are deciding the best holiday that suits Peter's needs. After some debate, they all agree that yes, he can go with right support. Here we see Peter buying the tickets and heads off on his holidays on the train. Personal Support 6. Support for personal and social development. Peter is in the pub with his friends. Sometimes Peter feels he can't join in the conversation. So, he would like to get support with his social skills. Here we see Peter going to discuss the matter with his centre manager. After some debate, supports are decided to be put in place for Peter. Here we see Peter out with his friends and his support worker in the pub, where they are relaxed and having a good chat. After getting the right supports, Peter is now socialising with his friends and his support worker. Peter's support worker now feels it's time to leave and let Peter socialise with his friends. Personal Support 7. Support for health and well-being. Here we see Peter going to his local healthcare centre to see his doctor. Peter is discussing his healthcare needs with his healthcare coordinator. Together, they decide Peter's healthcare needs. The healthcare coordinators also discuss personal needs of others. As part of a healthy lifestyle, Peter has joined a local walking club and a local gym. And here he is seen, relaxing in his local spa, waiting for his hot stone massage. Here we see the healthcare coordinator briefing local health professionals on the needs of people with intellectual disability. Personal Support 8. Support for accessing bridging programs to vocational training. Here we see Peter attending an Access to Employment class. The class prepares students in the requirements for employment. Here we see Peter gaining work experience in the catering industry. Peter is attending FOSS to explore his work opportunities. Peter also drops into his local VEC to make an appointment to discuss his vocational training. Personal Support 9. Support for accessing vocational training and work opportunities. Peter is meeting with the job coach from FOSS to discuss possible training and work options. Together they identify that he will need support with his move from the centre to the world of training and work. Peter is trying different forms of work experience and also gets support to access supported employment. With support from his key worker, Peter will decide which work option best suits his needs. Personal Support 10. Support for personal expression and creativity. Here we see Peter involved in filmmaking and photography. It has been Peter's ambition for some time to take photographs of wildlife and flowers. Peter is also involved with the local theatre group and is a great way of socialising for him. For many years, Peter has been involved in an African drumming group, and here he shows us his particular skill in the area. Personal Support 11. Support for having meaningful social roles. Here we see Peter attending a rights conference. Peter is interested in human rights for people with intellectual disabilities. As a result of Peter's larger social circle, he has volunteered to work with his local community group. Peter's obvious charm gets great attraction. Peter has become an active member of the local walking club. Here he is seen socializing during his walk. Personal Support 12. Support for influencing service policy and practice. Here we see Peter attending a local SHASF meeting. SHASF is a group of people with intellectual disabilities who are speaking on behalf of other people with disabilities. Here we see Peter and the SHASF representatives having a meeting with the chief executive of his centre to discuss local issues and policies and how they affect the people in the service. Here we see Peter going into the local HSE office to arrange an appointment with the local manager. Peter and the SHASF representative have a meeting with the HSE manager to discuss issues that affect the lives of people with intellectual disabilities in their area. Peter dreams. He dreams of a time when he could be mayor. When elected to office, he could make decisions and affect policies that will have a positive effect in the lives of people with intellectual disability. Sheltered work activity. The following clips show 4 different types of work activity. This clip shows sheltered work commercial. A day program consisting of work activity. The public has access to the product or service. Service users may or may not receive allowances or top-up payments. This clip shows sheltered work like work. A day program which involves service users working in their service. Described as like work situations, service users receive a top-up payment. This clip shows external work, like work, less than minimum wage. In most cases, the service provider sources the placement in an open employment setting. The employer normally makes a top-up payment to the individual or the service provider to allocate at its discretion. This clip shows open employment with no supports. This is employment in the open labour market without additional supports. The service provider may have helped the individual to get their job, but now has withdrawn all support.